Hey, what's going on? Luke here. Just because Queensland have wrapped up the 2023 State of Origin series, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop making State of Origin videos. And obviously you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be going over my side for Game 3. Now this is, I feel like for the Game 2 one that I did straight after Game 1, I sort of was trying to pick a side based around kind of what I wanted, but also what was realistic for Brad Fittler. Now for this video, I'm more so going to go with what I think I would go with, because I mean we're sort of looking for the future, and I've sort of picked this team based around the fact that New South Wales, we need some new blood in the side, sort of a changing of a guard as well. Some forced, some, you know, kind of just guys who've lost the form or sort of lost the ability and probably shouldn't get selected. Some controversial ones, probably some not controversial ones. Look, let's not waste too much time doing this intro. I'll just give a little mention that if you happen to enjoy this one, make sure you go ahead and leave a like on it, subscribe. We're on the push to 15,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already subscribed, if you can go ahead and do that, that'd be very much appreciated. Also, the more likes, the better. And I feel like as of late, these sort of videos have been getting quite a good amount of views. So if you go ahead and leave a like on it, it just lets you know, or lets me know, I should say, that you're enjoying the content as well. So it sort of works all round in terms of, you know, growing the channel, growing the views, and also just let me know if you guys like it. Also, my social media is on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke YT. Give me a follow, give me an ad. I'll keep that one nice and short. Also, shout out to the members. You're seeing them on the screen right now. Need to give a special mention to them because they've been sticking around for quite some time. And I'm hoping they're still enjoying the content, Rugby League Live 4 content, some sort of in real life, NRL sort of content as well. So shout out to everybody who's become a member and also super chatted as well and has been a part of all the streams and all that sort of stuff. It's very much appreciated. It doesn't go unnoticed. Now the intro's out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at my 1 to 17. I've actually come up with a few extra players as well, some honourable mentions, and some of them also depend on injuries as well. So I'm going to start off at fullback. And this is going to be, I don't know if this is going to throw a spinner in the works, because I feel like a lot of people would say Dylan Edwards to be the next in line. Not for me. For me, I've actually gone with Latrell Mitchell. Thought process behind that is I just think he's got the X factor about him. I don't know if he's going to be fit. I don't know if it's going to be a good selection, but I just love to see Latrell just get an opportunity. This is a nothing game. It's a throwaway game. I just love to see how he goes in Origin. He's such a guy who, when he steps up, he really steps up and he lifts the team, and I think he can do that. And also, it will kind of make a little bit more sense, I think, once you sort of get around the rest of the side. Now, if Latrell isn't fit, my next in line would actually be Scott Drinkwater. I feel like he's a guy that, if we were picking at how Queensland picks, they would be picking a guy like Scott Drinkwater. They wouldn't be worried about reputation. We've seen in the past, you know, they've had Ponga there, they've had Brimson play really good. For these guys who are quite good at club level, who might not be like the most elite of the elite, but they are still very, very good players, and they definitely would get an opportunity. For me, Dylan Edwards, like, yeah, you give you an opportunity. He would probably do a job for you, but at the same time, he's not the youngest fullback as well. So, you know, by the time he sort of comes in, he gets settled. Like, I don't know how much of a future there is going to be. Also, I want to keep in mind too, I'm sort of trying to steer away from this whole Penrith of the New South Wales side. So I feel like it sort of defeats the whole purpose of dropping Tedesco and then bringing in another Penrith guy, but also dropping some other Penrith guys. It doesn't make sense. And also, I'm not too certain. I don't know how good Dylan Edwards would be outside of the Penrith system, if I'm completely honest with you. So, yeah, Drinkwater, I think he's got the ball playing, he's got the speed. I think he has a lot of attributes that will fit well in the Origin arena, so I wouldn't mind him, but Latrell Mitchell is my first option. I know you could chuck him in the centres, but just for the purpose of just something different, I've just gone with Latrell Mitchell at the back. On the wings, I've gone with the same wingers. Obviously, you could make a few changes. I would look at a guy like Stephen Crichton possibly coming in on the wing. You know, Suaalii is always going to get talked about. Daniel Tupou's been there. I wouldn't go him at all, to be honest, but I feel like some people probably mention him. Plenty of players who could be on the wing, but I'd love to see Foxy get a go in a side that actually attacks. Let's be real, Josh Adokar has not fit the team in the last couple of games, but like there's been no go for, been no opportunity, no space. So in that element, like, I understand people looking at these games and going, yeah, no, Josh Adokar doesn't fit it, brain explosion through the punch, all that sort of stuff. I get it, and if you got dropped based off that, that's completely fine. I'm sitting here wearing a Let's Trot hoodie. Maybe I'm a bit biased here, but at the same time, he's literally got no good ball. He's had zero opportunity. New South Wales in general haven't attacked. We saw Queensland score a few long-range tries or make some breaks. Find one that New South Wales have done. They haven't. They had a break where Crichton got sort of, not an intercept, but he got a runaway and he got run down. New South Wales just haven't played any free-flowing footy, and I'd love to see Josh Adokar be a part of that. Because I feel like if they actually play to the strengths of some of these guys that I've picked, I think they all sort of work well together. So there is a little bit of thought put into why I picked these guys, why they fit in with the side. And Brian Tyro, he's just solid. He's another one I don't think has had the best series, but limited opportunities. Like, who has had a good series for New South Wales? But he's been there in the past and he's done a good job. So I can't fault Brian Tyro. The wingers aren't why we're losing. I just want to point that out. The centres, I've gone with, this is going to be interesting. Obviously, Tom Trbojevic was there. Latrell Mitchell has been named. He hasn't played, but I put him at fullback. Stephen Crichton, is he going to be there? No, he's not. I've gone with Campbell Graham and Katoni Staggs. Now, I think Katoni Staggs, go with the hot hand. He's been playing well for the Broncos. He's played for New South Wales before. Didn't really get the best of opportunities. Didn't have the best of times. But I'd like to see him have another go in the Origin arena. I think he's a big body. He's explosive. He's got speed. He's quite smart. And I think he could do some damage to the Queensland backline. I also think the exact same for Campbell Graham. Should have been there probably in game 2. He wasn't. I don't really understand. Like, there was no real explanation as to how he was next in line. Then when the next in line's available, he doesn't get picked. Kind of similar to the Nico Hines thing. Goes from being next in line to all of a sudden, like, completely out of favour. Like, I don't understand that. But for me, Campbell Graham, centre, wing, somewhere. You just got to have him in the side at some point. I don't really care where. You got to have Campbell Graham. Just try and blood him. Just chuck him in there. In the halves, I actually swapped this out a couple times. And it's ironic that I've been talking about Nico Hines as like, oh, how does he not get picked and all this sort of stuff. But I'm actually not picking him myself. I'm actually going to keep Mitchell Moses in there. I thought Mitchell Moses showed enough, and I would like to see Mitchell Moses. Like, we all know, when Parramatta get on a roll, Mitchell Moses is fantastic. I would love to see him team up with Cody Walker, and I know this sort of goes against the whole, we're blood in the future, all that sort of stuff. I completely understand that, and I do agree with you, kind of the logic behind it doesn't really add up, and I've just sat here and ripped on Brad Fittler for sort of being half in, half out with some of his selections, and I'm kind of doing the same thing, but I just think Cody Walker with Latrell Mitchell, you have that combo. And then with some of the other ones, I would just like to see how he goes. You've got Campbell Graham there as well. You can link up a lot of these guys. I honestly think Josh Adokar would fit in with these sort of guys. And yeah, Mitchell Moses, I'd love to see how he goes in a side that isn't getting dominated. I think he played all right in game 2. Obviously, didn't really have too many opportunities. Who did? But I thought his kicking arm was strong and that sort of stuff. And I think he'd actually complement Cody Walker well. And I think there's going to be a lot of people who say, what about Nico Hines? What about Adam Reynolds? If you're going to play Walker, you got to play Reynolds. I don't think we go forward by having Adam Reynolds in the side. We might play better, like in terms of this game, but going forward, I don't think it's a good selection. Especially not for a game 3 dead rubber. Blooded guy, not blooded guy, but obviously Mitchell Moses, he hasn't really had an opportunity. Not a good opportunity anyway. So, I mean, same can be said for Cody Walker too. But look, I've gone with them. You could add Nico Hines, Adam Reynolds. I just think we need someone different. But Mitchell Moses, for me, I thought he was quite good. And Jerome Luai, I'm so over Jerome Luai and all of like the whole Penrith shtick. I can't deal with it. And we'll see even further just how over I am of the Panther system in New South Wales. So that's kind of like the back line. Moving on to the forwards, our front rowers, Pangin Haas. Reece Robson retains the hooker spot. I thought he was all right. It wasn't like outstanding by any means, but they've already blooded him. Let's just give him another opportunity. And then coming back into the side, I don't know why he wasn't in the side in game 2. I don't understand. I don't understand why he got dropped last year. Regan Campbell-Gillard to start, coming straight into the starting side. Have tossed up a few other people. There's so many forwards that could be picked for New South Wales, but there's none who are like out and out you need to pick other than really Payne Haas for me and Cameron Murray, Liam Martin. They're the 3 guys that you can say like, okay, they definitely should be there. Everyone else is kind of, they are interchangeable. They are, there's plenty of opportunity in that forward pack because they definitely got dominated. And I'm bringing in Regan Gillard because I think he's played good at club level. He's been there in the past and he's done a fairly decent job. Just give him an opportunity. I don't understand why exactly he got not dropped, but why he didn't get picked in game 2, we definitely could have used him. And in the meantime, we've been having guys like Tavita Pengai play. I don't understand a lot of selections for Fittler. I think Campbell Gillard is a pretty straightforward one. Onto the back row, Liam Martin comes into the starting side. I understand having him come off the bench. It can change a game, but I'd just like to see New South Wales actually be in the game by the time he comes on. So, with that in mind, I'm just going to start him. Let's just get off to a hot start. That's what I'm sort of going for here as to why, Haas, Campbell Gillard, we need a strong start from the forwards. We can't be playing from behind and trying to play catch-up footy and, then, 50 minutes in go, oh, geez, our forwards are kind of mussing up a little bit here and the game's already over. start on the front foot. Tyson Frizzell's there as well. I thought he's actually done a pretty good job this series despite the results. And then Cam Murray into the 13. Goodbye, Isaiah Yeo. Unlucky, mate. Not up to it for State of Origin level, in my opinion. Fantastic player for Penrith. Not so fantastic for New South Wales. And that's kind of been the story for Isaiah Yeo, in my opinion. He kind of got away with it because there were other people who were worse off, or, the whole Penrith system. Penrith were absolutely destroying it in the NRL, whereas this year they're not destroying it as much. So there's a few flaws sort of coming through for Penrith, and it's very evident in terms of in New South Wales. And Isaiah Yeo, he isn't up for it for me. This whole go to the line, not even going to the line, you're 13, just being a passer. You can't have that. Paddy Carrigan shows that, and whoever ends up playing the lock, they've had a few different people. I think Cotter, Big Tino, they've had a few different people chuck on the number 13, and they've all absolutely dominated the game. And New South Wales have not seen that from Isaiah Yeo. So goodbye. Cameron Murray, I think, can do a job for us. Definitely has in the past, can do it again with the actual 13. Because they've tried him in the back row and he's been all right. He's come off the bench. I think just chuck him in the number 13. Let him play the actual role he plays for South. I think that's sort of what I want to see from Cameron Murray. Then our bench. This is where things get quite interesting. Gets very interesting. Matt Burton, I had him in my side for game 2. Obviously, it didn't happen. It would have been... in the end, would have been very, very useful having a Matt Burton on the bench. I said it the whole time. I don't understand why Matt Burton wasn't on the bench. And look, it'd be pretty sort of stupid for me to not go ahead and pick him. So I've chucked him in the number 14. In the 15, I have David Klemmer. Bring Big Clem back in. Bring Dave. Bring him in. We need him. We need a big bopper like him. We need a guy who's passionate. We need a guy that can sort of just match the intensity that Queensland have. And I think he can do it. Big Dave Klemmer, please. You want to. Don't pick Stefano. Pick David Klemmer. He's the best prop at the Tigers. I know that doesn't really say a lot considering it is the Tigers, but come on, Klemmer. I don't know what he did to Fittler, but he should be in this side. Honestly, he should. Considering our front row stocks, he has to be there. Same with Campbell Gillard. They need to be in the side somewhere. I'm sick of Junior Paulos. I'm sick of all these ball-playing props and all that sort of stuff. We need just some big boppers who are just going to give us some oomph, bend the line, smash some people. That's what I'm looking for. And guys are really going to take it. Remember David Klemmer with Corey Parker? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we need. Next up in number 16, I've gone for a second rower. We've gone for Keon Koloamatangi. I think he's quite versatile. I think he's aggressive. I think he's exactly what New South Wales need off the bench. He can be quite fiery. You can start him as well. You can definitely make an argument. Same with sort of Olakawatu as well. Either one of them I would be happy with, but I would personally go with Keon Koloamatangi because he has played in the front row. He's played in the back row. It's kind of depending on how the game's going, injuries, all that sort of stuff. I think he's quite versatile. So I would personally go with him. I think he'd be a great selection. I'm shocked that he sort of wasn't talked about more in terms of game 2. I know some of these guys weren't available for game 1, but game 2 they were available, and yet it was kind of like they weren't really tossed up. So a little bit confusing for me. Hudson Young, leaving him out. I don't think he had a great series. Kind of changed my mind a little bit on Hudson Young, and I don't know if that's a reflection of him or just Brad Fittler's poor coaching, but he had good minutes, he had good opportunities, and he didn't really do much. So I'd rather give Koloamatangi a chance. Then number 17, Damien Cook, the utility. I didn't think we'd be having a centre on the bench, or 2 centres, Matt Burton, Damien Cook, but Cook's a world-class centre. But on a serious note, Damien Cook, I think he should be there. I wouldn't be surprised if you start him as well. But just having him come off the bench against a tiring forward pack in Queensland, and I would like to think that this forward pack that we selected have battered Queensland enough that when Damien Cook comes on, he's actually coming on against like a tired side and not trying to come on and play off the back foot as they said about Coruscant. Why New South Wales needing to come off the back foot? We should be on the front foot, mate. Let's just get Damien Cook on there, get him running, and don't play him in the bloody centres. That's all I've got to say about that. Honourable mentions to some other guys like I mentioned, Nico Hines, Gutherson, someone I actually thought about in terms of fullback as well. He's been so good for so many years. He's also a guy who is quite versatile as well. So, in terms of Burton on the bench, maybe you start with a Matt Burton, maybe chuck him in the number 6 if you want to fully blood someone. I don't know. But Gutherson is another guy who I could see him play for the Blues. I wouldn't actually mind him getting an opportunity playing the number 1 because I've seen him play in the centres and it just didn't work. But, chuck him at fullback. I wouldn't mind seeing it. Just so we can sort of have this argument of is Gutherson good enough? Now we'll know. So his Gutho's there. Isaiah Yeo obviously is always going to be in the mix just because, how good Penrith have been and he's been in the system. And, he most definitely will get picked in game 3. I'm just sort of going with my side. And then I've also gone with Crichton as well. Stephen Crichton covers all backline positions. You can sort of chuck him in there. He'll do a job for you. He's done a job for New South Wales in the past, especially this series. But yeah, for me, he's not like the next in line for me. Yeah, he keeps getting picked, and probably will get picked in game 3 as well. But that's Brad Fittler for you. Anyways, that's my 1 to 17. Actually, I got a couple extras, 1 to 21. But look, it's not a super realistic side. It's probably not even the best side possible. It's kind of just a side I came up with. I wanted a mix of people getting an opportunity as well as being realistic enough that we can actually win it without just chucking random guys in there. But yeah, like I said, that's my 1 to 17. Let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think it's a good side? Do you think it's better than the side that they've picked in previous games? Obviously, some people aren't available, which really does change it. No Tedesco is a big one. Probably didn't touch on that enough, but yeah, look, that's my 1 to 17. Let me know yours, especially in the comment section below. We're going to have a little bit of a debate. Check out your sides. I'm expecting some pretty wacky sides, some pretty different sides to what we've seen in the past. So I think this is going to make Game 3 somewhat interesting. So if they want people to actually show up, they should probably make some changes. That'd be fantastic. That'd be ideal. But guys, if you happen to enjoy this one, make sure you go ahead and leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I do the whole shtick at the start of the video. Just leave a like and subscribe. You know exactly why, especially if you made it to the end of the video. Also, give me a follow on social media. It's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Lick and YT. Just give me a follow, give me an ad, and look, I'm going to end this one here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. See you.